I'm Pauline Rose, Professor of International Education at the University of Cambridge. Disability is a really key issue for why children are excluded from school. As we are approaching 2015, we know that many of those who are not in school are children with disabilities. However, at the moment, data on children with disabilities is so scarce that it's really difficult to get an overarching picture of the extent to which they're excluded and the extent to which children with different types of disabilities and types of impairments and severities are excluded. So we know, for example, in some countries like Iraq, that if you don't have a disability, most children have been to school. However, children with mental impairments, about half of them have never been to school. Now, this pattern is probably similar across different countries, but we don't have sufficient data to know. In 2000, when education goals were set, disability was not on the agenda. It was not mentioned in the Dakar Framework for Action that set the Education for All goals. It was also not mentioned in the Millennium Development Declaration that set the Millennium Development Goals. As we have now reached 2015 and we realise that children with disabilities are amongst those who are the most neglected, who face the most discrimination in getting to school, we see that actually there is greater recognition that children with disabilities do need to be included in these goals and in these targets. So it's reassuring to see that the draft proposals on post-2015 targets do mention children with disabilities, whether this is in the education framework, whether it's in the open working group framework that is linked with the Sustainable Development Goals, or whether it's within the high-level panel report that has also discussed and set targets for post-2015. Across all of these processes, disability is recognised, and along with this, it's recognised that if we are to make progress in ensuring that all children are both in school and learning by 2030, we need to make sure that we have data that is tracking the progress of all groups in the population, including children with disabilities, to make sure that we do actually see the extent to which their possibilities of being in school and learning are improving. If we don't do this, they're going to remain invisible after 2015. We're very likely by 2030 to be having the discussions that we're having now, that too often policymakers are ignoring the right of children with disabilities to an education. And we're also likely to still be discussing the type of education that these children need to make sure that they are included and achieve that right.